Jan Jan. Bonsoir. Bonsoir à toutes, bonsoir à tous. Aujourd'hui, on part pour un nouveau jeu. Simplement parce que Léa n'étant toujours pas rentrée de ses vacances, nous n'allons pas continuer sans elle Professeur Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Et nous allons donc jouer à Stanley Parable aujourd'hui. I break my mate. Voilà. Appelons les gens. Sauf Léa. Allô? Je vois un Sylvain, je n'entends pas de Sylvain. Je vois un Griffin, je n'entends pas de Griffin.
Bah moi, j'entends un peu trop en étrange, mais bon.
Ah, comment ça tu m'entends un peu trop?
Non, moi, j'ai rien dit.
Qu'est-ce que tu entends par là?
Bon, on m'entend pas, quoi.
Moi, j'entends que t'as un micro de merde, par contre, Griffin.
Ah,
Pendant deux
le
secondes,
bon micro.
j'ai cru que c'était Pepsi.
Alors, Pepsi, il est dans la pièce à côté.
Ouais, mais justement, c'est pour ça faisait en effet en mode à côté.
Attends, je vais voir un truc. Est-ce que là, vous m'entendez plus?
Je dirais pas.
Ouais, on
Oui ou
comprend
non?
un peu mieux, mais pas. C'est pas toujours extra, quoi.
Et là, est-ce qu'on entend plus fort?
Mais on t'entend toujours de loin, en fait.
Oui, c'est ça.
C'est vraiment l'impression que le micro.
C'est donc pas ce micro-là.
Est-ce que vous avez essayé de débrancher, rebrancher votre micro?
Attends.
Et si j'utilise celui-là?
Ah bah là, ça va mieux.
C'est déjà plus du Griffin, là.
Ok. C'est pas le bon micro.
Juste augmenter un petit peu parce que je l'ai mis à 50%.
Du coup, j'ai cherché des jeux et j'en ai trouvé 4.
4 jeux.
Ouais.
Attends.
Tous trouvables à moins de 5 euros.
À moins de 5 euros. Pourquoi
Ouais.
je m'entends en double, bizarrement?
Sérieux?
Oui.
Je la sais pas.
Je sais pas, tu m'entends en double, Sylvain?
Non, mais moi.
Non.
C'est bizarre.
Bah, du coup c'est bon. Vu
Wait.
que t'as trouvé plein de jeux à moins de 5 euros, moi, j'ai plus besoin de faire un partage de bibliothèque Steam.
Ah! Mais non, j'en ai besoin. Quel
Par
salaud.
contre, il faut que tu...
Vous partagez le jeu, oui.
Non, sur ton live.
Quoi sur mon live?
Mais je crois que j'ai pas compris.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe sur mon live?
Ah oui, effectivement, je m'entends en double. Oui, Griffin, c'est chez Griffin.
Ah! Je me disais bien que c'était chez Griffin.
Attends, qu'est-ce qui provoque le vent là?
Moi, en attendant, j'en profite pour configurer mon jeu.
Oui, c'est pas...
C'est important de configurer le jeu, ok? Parce
Qu'est-ce
qu'il
qui
était
fait
mis en 4 tiers à la base. Hein.
Oui, tu peux le mettre au max le jeu, hein, si tu veux. Hein,
Mais c'est ce que je suis en train de faire.
Oui, enfin, ça va pas changer grand-chose.
Oh, regarde. Triple buffering. Détail très haut d'éclairage.
Je voudrais les succès du jeu juste pour voir. Et je vais essayer de parier ce que tu vas faire et ce que tu ne vas pas faire.
Ah ah! Ce qu'on va faire.
Je suppose que ça n'a rien changé.
Ah! Ah si, je m'entends plus.
Ah, c'est bizarre ça.
Non plus, pareil. Je n'entends plus.
En fait, il agissait comme si les deux micros étaient allumés. Je sais pas pourquoi.
Le Stanley Parable ou The Stanley Parable? The Stanley Parable.
The Stanley Parable.
Ah, je sais quand est-ce que tu utilises ce jeu. D'accord.
J'ai déverrouillé le succès achievement.
Ah oui, faut aller dans les...
Il y a énormément de succès à la con.
Énormément.
Non, pas tellement, justement.
Justement, il y en a 10, des succès.
Ouais, il y en a très très peu. Non.
Il y a 8.
You can't jump. No, seriously,
We disabled it. Du coup, c'est ready?
Achievement, this is an achievement. Ah, je l'ai pas fait, tu vois, celui-là.
Ah bah moi, je l'ai fait. Mais toi, tu as fait l'achievement ne pas lancer le jeu pendant 5 ans, évidemment.
Oui.
Ah bah voilà, tu l'as fait finalement.
Non.
Bah voilà, tu ne l'as pas fait.
Go outside. Bah ouais, mais je l'ai pas encore eu. Bon, allez, lance le jeu.
Oui,
Voir un
c'est
petit
parce
peu
que
tout
tu ne
ça.
sors jamais dehors, évidemment.
Ah,
Bon,
tout à fait.
lançons ce jeu. The end is loading.
Ah, 3 heures de...
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
3 heures de quoi?
Stanley worked for a company in a big
Ah,
building
oui, bah ça va.
where he was employee number 427.
ça va.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what
Impressionnant.
employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
C'est bon? Tu peux jouer?
Laisse-le finir sa propagande anarchiste.
C'est bon?
C'est pas qu'on a anarchiste, non?
Ah, pas de propagande anarchiste?
Totalement de la propagande anarchiste, oui.
Attends.
Peut-être d'entendre tous tes sombres univers de JDR.
Oui, c'est ça.
Non.
C'est bon.
C'est bon?
C'est bon. Oula. Ok. Le déplacement est vachement rapide. Hein.
Ah oui, t'inquiète. Non, oui, t'inquiète. Stanley est pressé.
Très pressé. Ok. Non, la porte de mon bureau.
Eh oui.
Ah.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
J'imagine juste le
Stanley
gars qui
decided to
court
go to
partout.
the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, y'a personne. Ah, j'ai éteint un PC.
Alors, juste, éponge. Pas trop vite.
Mais pas trop vite, mais comment veux-tu le jeu?
Non, la caméra.
Ah, pour la bouger, tu veux dire?
Mhm.
Attends. Est-ce que je peux pas changer la vitesse Voilà.
C'est pas trop le souci, mais...
Voilà, je
comment
pense.
dire Voilà.
Ouais, ça vous donne la gerbe.
Bah,
Stanley
pas
went
encore,
around
mais
touching every
je
little
sentais
thing in the office,
que...
but it didn't
Comment
make
dire,
a
1 heure
single
comme ça, oui.
difference. Nor did it advance
Mais là,
the
ça va aller
story
mieux.
in any way.
Oui, là, ça va beaucoup mieux.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Bah, merci le jeu.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause.
Non, mais le jeu, il me nargue.
Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly
t'inquiète.
50 clicks.
Il me nargue le jeu.
On perd combien?
Rendre anarchiste, 50.
Il a dit 50.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Ah non 417, elle est où? Et on l'a pas la 417. Oh, ça va.
Continue.
C'est pas ça qui est juste à côté?
Non.
Bah voilà, il commence à devenir anarchiste.
Je préviens juste comme ça, le jeu ne fera que ça.
Oui, mais là je le prends personnellement.
Bon, on va pas passer la nuit sur une putain de porte.
Non, c'est bon.
Mais non, c'est juste une porte.
Arrête de parler comme le barbare. Allez, on éteint les PC.
Ah, attention, elle va se transformer en poulet. La 420.
La 420.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
C'était dans quel film encore la porte 420? Je sais plus.
Non, c'est la 400... C'est la 427, hein. C'est...
Shining, non?
Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Et 420, en fait, c'est juste le... C'est l'heure des drogués.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Ouais, il y a toujours par contre du côté de chez Griffin un super écho.
Ouais, c'est revenu ton écho.
On dit que c'est... ça part et ça revient, c'est quoi cette connerie?
Now, back to door number 437.
Ah. Quelle horreur.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
Elle est où?
Ah ah.
Elle est où la putain de photocopieuse sa mère?
Réfléchis, dans ce genre de grosse boîte comme ça.
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
C'est pas possible.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
419? Non. Je peux pas, moi.
Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416. We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
Le gars qui est garé, quoi. Oula.
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430! Yes! We did
C'est bon.
it! Oh, wow. That felt
On peut se
amazing.
casser.
Oh, you really earned it, Stanley.
Eh ben.
Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far
Une
we've
soirée
come
très
today.
très longue.
Just think, only a few
mais
minutes
c'est
ago,
le
you
jeu.
believed an achievement was worth
Oui,
finding.
mais c'est pour ça que je dis que c'est ça va être une soirée très longue.
What
Et dis-toi que c'est de la faute du jeu.
Et c'est pour ça que je veux pas qu'on fasse le jeu.
T'as pas dit que tu
When
voulais pas qu'on
Stanley
le
came
fasse.
to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Bon.
Alors... Ah oui, il obéit. D'accord.
Ouais. Parce qu'il m'a
de toute façon, on va-
Non, mais c'est parce qu'il m'a donné les récompenses juste avant, donc...
Ah mais soyons clairs, hein, il va refaire le jeu plusieurs fois. Hein, donc,
Oui, mais pas ce soir.
Ah, de toute façon,
Yet
il est
there was
obligé.
not
Ah,
a
si,
single person here
ah, si,
either.
mon crois-moi, tu vas le refaire
Feeling a
plusieurs fois. le jeu.
wave of
Ah,
disbelief,
si, c'est un
Stanley
jeu qu'il faut
decided to
faire
go
plusieurs
up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Meeting room. Lourd 4X, groupe.
C'est vrai que j'oubliais à quel point il était compliqué ce...
Ah, qu'est-ce que c'est que cette merde? Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager.
Manager du bureau.
Rip Franz.
Everyone is unique.
You most of all. Tu l'es presque. Une nouvelle machine à café du recherche et développement. Reflect. Ok. Mais qu'est-ce que quoi? Pourquoi c'était bugué?
Mais la boîte a dit de sortir.
Bah il a dit va au bureau du boss. Du coup, je les ai vus.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Il veut pas me le donner.
J'espère.
Je vais prendre la clé à molette.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Mais si, je veux cette clé à molette. Par
It
contre,
was
c'est rigolo,
baffling that Stanley was
parce que
still
quand je clique,
just
ça fait un bruit de
sitting in the
clavier.
broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
J'en profite pour boire.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Car cela ne durera éternellement.
Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm
Déco.
Je ne réponds pas. Alors,
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Voilà. C'est le jeu.
Bah voilà, t'as fini. Qu'est-ce que c'était quoi?
Ah oui, putain, je me souviens. Ah oui.
Genre, vous allez me faire croire que tu montes dans le bureau du boss et donc il y a tous les murs qui deviennent en satin.
Non mais tu vas voir,
en
vas-y,
bois.
vas-y, continue, tu vas voir. C'est spécial.
Oh.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Ah. Et là, j'ai un icône qui apparaît. Bizarre.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Est-ce que par hasard...
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the key 2845.
Ah, c'est vrai. Voilà. C'est pour un succès. Ah, ça fonctionne pas.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oui.
I'm the most expensive boss. Oh.
De quoi? Où est-ce que tu vois ça?
Mais sur le tableau
Vous
là.
voyez pas?
Sur le tableau.
Où ça? Ah d'accord, si tu t'arrives à lire. Oui, non, c'est juste que nous on n'arrive pas avec la résolution de l'histoire.
Carte blanche et Mont Blanc.
Oui, d'accord. Effectivement, sur ton live.
Sewage Lily by Claude Monet. Allez, go.
Mais quel est donc ce terrible secret?
Et je suis caché. Attends. On veut vraiment passer en derrière? Ça sert à rien, mais on peut.
Il y a toujours de l'écho chez vous?
Non. Wait. Ouah, c'est mieux fait que dans Resident Evil 8.
Tu te rends compte?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large
Mind
door that
control
read
facility.
Mind Control Facility.
Bah non en fait.
Bah alors.
Bah non en fait.
Bah quoi?
Mais les deux cas c'est un piège à con.
Bah du coup, tombe dans le piège à con.
Oui mais lequel?
Bah celui que tu préfères. Et prends une décision pour une fois, c'est ton idée.
Ah ouais, non, mais étrange, va falloir que tu prennes des décisions dans ta vie. Hein.
Oh merde.
Parce que là, je veux bien que les autres fois, on est un peu responsable, mais là, quand même, prends une décision.
Oh bah merde.
T'es
Hein.
22 T'as 22 ans et t'es manager.
Although this
Voilà.
passageway had the word escape
T'as
written
choisi
on
un
it,
boulot, t'as
the
choisi une
truth
voiture, t'as
was
choisi
that
un
at the
appart,
end
t'as
of this
choisi
hall,
un jeu vidéo.
Stanley would meet his violent death.
Mais je l'ai choisi le jeu vidéo. C'est juste les choix dans le jeu vidéo que j'arrive pas à choisir. Salut Frixie.
Ouais, je suis d'accord. Je
The
suis
door
d'accord.
behind him was not
Non, je
shut.
suis pas d'accord.
Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly
non,
confront
cool.
his death.
Ah non. Ah si.
Alors, vas-y.
Allez, vas-y,
Allez.
choisis.
Salouade. Je suis pas mort. Ah mais c'est le début d'Half-Life.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
Ah ouais.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
T'as choisi être.
Non. C'est faux. Aha.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single
mort.
visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Ah, je suis pas mort. Je suis pas mort.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game,
Ah.
back in his office, as alive as ever.
Oui.
What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
D'accord.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now?
Ok.
Do you see
Ah, là,
that
faut que je
Stanley
remonte
was
à fait.
already dead from the moment he hit start?
Non, mais si vous voulez pas une référence à l'anarchisme, je peux rien.
Regarde au sol. Non, pas au sol. Il a une maquette miniature au sol.
Oui.
Voilà.
Oui, c'est le bureau. C'est tout
Je
ce qu'on
pense
a
que c'est le
fait.
chemin que t'as fait.
Oh.
Là, ça, t'as choisi les.
Ah, il joue aux dames. 1, 2, 3.
Ah, oui, les boutons. Les fameux boutons.
Ok. Ça sert à quelque chose?
Ah non. Non. Pour le moment, non. Ici, non, ils ne servent à rien.
Ils font du son.
Ils font du bruit.
J'allais dire, même pas tu regardes les crédits là.
Des gens. Des gens et des gens. Voilà.
Eh bah putain.
Putain, il trompe son cerveau, regarde par terre. Et ça va, il était pas précis. Je dois aller où?
Il y a une maquette au sol, mais non.
Mais non, tu as dit regarde à terre, j'avais bien vu la...
Where were all of his co-workers? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. J'avais bien vu qu'il y avait une maquette. Mais tu me dis regarde au sol, moi je regarde le sol.
qui regarde le sol, j'ai regardé au sol.
Ben là. L'ascenseur.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Faut que Sylvain tienne la main.
Listen to
Non.
me. You can still save
Ah.
these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path.
Jamais
Stop
Monica.
now. It'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time choose.
Tu disais?
J'ai dit jamais Monica. Et du coup, c'est tout? Un écran noir?
Et c'est le jeu, bravo.
Je peux encore faire escape. Et je dois vraiment faire escape?
Réfléchis ce qu'il y a à faire là du coup.
Ben ouais.
Il a pas compris le jeu. Non, il a pas compris le jeu. Non.
Non, il a pas compris le jeu. Pas encore. Laisse-lui 2-3 runs, il va comprendre.
Il a compris ce qu'il fallait faire.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
Non,
memo.
elle a dit que je devais quitter le jeu. Moi, j'ai juste mis appuyer sur recommencer. Pas la même.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ce serait passé quoi dans le centre
This was
de...
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
On le
well.
saura pas.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
De
just
quoi?
to admire it.
De quoi, Sylvain?
Non, rien.
J'ai vraiment pas entendu ce que t'as dit en fait.
Ah bah tant pis, c'est pas grave.
J'ai juste entendu, ah bah on le saura pas.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed
Je
room.
trouve que c'est une salle de
Stanley
pause
simply stood here,
absolument
drinking it all
affligeante.
in.
Ah oui, non, elle est horrible, hein.
Comparé à la salle de pause que j'avais,
Yes, really worth it.
Ah non, mais
being
attention,
here
moi
in a
j'ai jamais eu de salle de pause dans mes
room
tafs.
so
Hein, mais,
utterly
Moi j'en avais
captivating
une.
that
Ça
even
faisait la
though
taille
là,
co-workers have mysteriously
de
vanished,
pas grand
Si,
chose.
j'en avais
you
une.
sit
Hein,
looking at these
on
chairs and
avait
some
une, elle
paintings.
faisait allez, 8
Really
mètres carrés
worth
qui
it.
pétaient, et il y avait les canalisations qui passaient au-dessus de notre tête.
Elle faisait 8 mètres carrés, la moitié c'était une table.
At this point, Stanley's
bon,
obsession with this room
peut-être la
bordered
même.
on creepy and
Oui.
reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
C'est
But
horrible.
at last, he'd had enough of the
C'est
amazing room
confortable, oui, tu
and took
m'étonnes.
the first open door on his left to get back to
Ils ont pas
business.
traduit.
Incroyable, ça n'a pas été traduit.
Incroyable.
Non, ça n'a pas été traduit.
Il a dit que je devais aller par où? J'ai pas écouté.
Cette porte-là, il a dit.
C'est là?
Que tu veux. Ouais.
Stanley was so bad at following directions,
Ah.
it's incredible he wasn't fired years
Ah, c'est pas
ago.
grave. Ne mens pas, si tu mens maintenant, arrête-toi.
C'est comme le même tu mens.
Arrête. Tu es triste. Arrête. Ah, on se réentend bien en écho.
Ça me fait beaucoup rire ce truc de
Look,
merde.
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the
Comme
fact
suicider.
is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. I'm
Saute.
asking
Mais
for
non.
her.
Mais
This is
c'est
it,
qui elle?
Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Mais est-ce que le jeu est en train de déduire la sexualité de Stanley?
Mais qu'est-ce que tu comprends pas dans toute sa vie est tracée?
Non, mais peut-être que ce jeu c'est une allégorie de quelqu'un qui découvre Twitter.
Je découvre encore Twitter.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Allô?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Ah,
Gotcha. Oh,
Okay.
come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to
Allez,
see
film dans ta
something.
tronche.
Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
ouah, comment ils ont fait pour faire bouger le mannequin comme ça? Je veux savoir. Comment t'as fait?
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Bonjour.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Ah, et si je le fais pas, qu'est-ce qui se passe? Ah, c'est pas le
Et
bon
donc,
2, zut. Oui, c'est moi.
Obéis.
Look at him there.
J'ai appuyé
pushing
sur E, pas sur
buttons,
2.
doing exactly
Voilà.
what he's told to do.
C'est bien.
Now he's
Obéis.
pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might
J'entends
even
des
feel
bruits qui viennent de
sorry
chez
for him,
Griffin, ça fait
except
peur.
that he's chosen
Oui,
this
moi aussi.
life.
C'est ce qui fait le plus peur. Ah, je peux pas me rapprocher plus. Mouton, t'es le genre à te faire vacciner car la Macronie te... Alors déjà, c'est pas le bon pays.
Trixie, j'ai une question. Tu t'es fait vacciner? Ou tu vas te faire vacciner?
Non, mais de toute façon, c'est un mouton de la Macronie. Hein.
Bon,
Ah.
voilà, j'ai fait ce que j'ai pu.
Ah. Mais comment ça se fait que ton micro est devenu de la merde, là?
Parce que la prise jack ne fonctionne plus et donc je dois passer par un autre périph.
Genre le périph' de Paris?
Non, de
But in
l'autre.
his mind, in his
Ouais, tu fais
mind,
les
he can go on
boutons quand ça rentre pas
fantastic
par devant.
adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic
Moi, je
discoveries
sais
of
pas,
new
j'ai-
lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would
Mets-toi en
ever
push-to-talk,
happen to
Griffin.
him.
Je pense que ce sera le mieux.
Est-ce que l'écho est revenu?
Bah oui, oui, oui. Oui, oui. Je vais dire, il n'y a pas de télé, mais en fait, si.
Pourquoi c'est que de temps en temps, je comprends pas.
Une idée.
Ah, le 2 de mon clavier, il fonctionne pas. Ah, c'est dommage.
And so he began to fantasize about
y a
his
plus de
own
TV.
job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Je joue à la manette. Passer du temps avec les enfants? Mais quelle horreur! Mais qui ferait ça? Je suis obligé.
Bah, je t'attends ta
Vas-y.
faim.
Non, parce que j'ai pas envie, moi, de passer du temps avec les enfants.
Ça va être un live très long.
Mais non.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to
Ok,
fill
j'ai
it with many
compris.
possible
D'accord.
paths and destinations.
Yeah.
Down
Ça
one
devient
path
mon
lay an
bureau.
enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley
Avec le bébé.
Parable.
Le bébé.
Oui, oui.
Je raconte pas des histoires aux enfants.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never
Again and
end,
again and again
that he
and
might
And again,
always
again,
feel
again.
this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Ah,
But there is
elle
no
a des pop.
answer.
Parfait.
How could there possibly be? In
Oui,
reality, all
effectivement.
he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always
Elle
has.
commence à me faire peur.
Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be
Il y a rien
anything
qui a
but
changé.
an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Et là, là, il y a un petit problème, du coup. À qui tu vas obéir? Au narrateur, donc. D'accord.
Rexig me dit appuie.
Mais alors,
Moi, j'ai tout mon
appuie.
temps. Hein. Je bois, attends.
C'est pas les créateurs de Stanley Parable qu'on fait Superliminal?
Super quoi? Le truc avec les perspectives?
Ça serait tout à fait possible.
Ah mais t'en aurais pas?
Je crois que...
Stop les excuses. Mais il n'y a pas d'excuses. De toute façon, regarde. Attends. Regarde. Hop. Je mets la caméra. Regarde, regarde. Hop. Regarde. Hop. Là, il y a le bouton 8. Il ne se passe rien, tu vois? Il ne se passe rien. Voilà. Bon, merde, hein.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to
Attends, je
kill
bois.
himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Ne pas vous poser la moindre
I
question.
suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as
Ils ont rien à
Stanley.
voir avec.
We're not so different, I
Mais ça me fait
suppose.
beaucoup penser.
I'll try once more to convey all this to him.
Mais il y a
I'm
aussi un narrateur
compelled
dans
to. I
Superliminal.
must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time we'll
Oui,
see.
mais d'une manière différente.
Maybe this
Okay.
time. And I tried again.
Veuillez
And
mourir.
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Ah. 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 Il a bugué.
Non, il est pas bugué.
Allez, go.
All of his co-workers were
Alors,
gone.
il a encore
What
recommencé
could
le
it
jeu.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Tiens.
Déjà
Non, c'est la
vu.
gauche.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nya. Caché. Oh, une voiture.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a
Développeur et
competitive
éditeur différent, nous
economy,
dit.
why had he taken that risk?
Vas-y.
All because he believed
Ah oui,
everyone had vanished.
Oh putain, une grosse
His
pluie a
boss would think
commencé.
he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I
Tu
am
es sous les
crazy.
toits.
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of
Attendez,
existence in a
Je
single
coupe mon
moment
micro 2
for
secondes
no
parce que je vais
reason at
crier.
all. None of it made any
Pas de souci.
logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he
Voilà.
see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
Ah,
He yelled. This is
je
all
vois
a
ce que
dream.
je fais.
Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an
Le
answer,
jeu, il nous fait une
an
piqui.
explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still
Ah non,
lucid.
pas assez rapide.
So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
C'est pas la première
Then
fois que
he
tu comprends ce
imagined
que je fais.
himself
Non, je vois pas de
soaring
quoi tu
through
parles.
space on a magical
Vas-y.
star field, and it too appeared.
Oh, c'est
It
trop
was
bien.
so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not
plus rien.
woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating
j'avais perdu
everything
le
that
fil.
I'm doing and thinking?
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a?
D'accord, j'ai
Now
tout
the
perdu.
voice was describing
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a?
itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly
Griffy?
strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking
Sylvain?
about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
J'ai perdu les gens. Allô?
Simply deceiving himself,
Ah, ok.
believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself.
Griffin, je te
Stanley
vois.
is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars
Ouais,
just a
Griffin,
moment
il a
ago?
lancé Spelunky,
How else
tu
would the
vois.
voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it.
Je suis sûr qu'il aurait été
He
beaucoup
would
plus
prove
content si
that
on
he
recommençait
was
Little
in
Miss Fortune.
control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the
Rachis.
mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Mais déjà, quand on dit ça, c'est qu'il y a un problème.
I am okay.
Oh.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Ok.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
D'accord.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. Then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Waouh, c'était trop bien comme jeu. Et le jeu, il s'est relancé tout seul. Très bien. Allez, hop.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Pas fini.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
Oui, je
left.
sais que c'est pas fini. Ah. Allô?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Saute cette fois.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud.
Je sais plus le
to
code.
nobody.
Yes.
He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a key. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Pas que je sache.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Sylvain, si tu viens de parler, dis-le.
Bleu.
Merci.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Voilà, t'es content le jeu? C'est bon?
Oui, moi aussi je suis content.
Pourquoi? Parce qu'on avance?
Oui.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Oh.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Ok. Je sais pas si j'étais censé faire ça, mais je pense pas.
Oh, que si.
Non, moi j'ai jamais eu cette fin.
Mais je pense pas que ce soit une fin. Je pense que le jeu n'avait juste pas prévu ça. Je pense que le jeu... Je pense que le jeu avait vraiment pas prévu ça. J'ai réussi à vraiment faire bugger le jeu.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Ah. Le jeu me fait avancer plus vite, très bien, c'est gentil.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
Moi, je peux pas
Did he
rappuyer sur
have
le
the
bouton.
strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Intéressant.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. Controls once and for all.
Ok. Je peux pas appuyer dessus. Ok. Ah, il y a un truc là-dessus. Harder, better, faster, stronger. Oui, Frixie.
C'est 4.
Donc j'ai vu 1, 2.
Ah non, les boutons dans le bon ordre.
Mais je sais pas où est le 3. Ah bah il est là. Ah! Il y a des signes qui n'ont rien à faire là. Hein.
C'est des signaux chimiques normalement.
Ça n'a rien à faire là. C'est une énigme.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door.
Non, il dit que je dois appuyer sur le doigt bleu.
Something here will save me. Why would you say that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Bon bah, rip.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing.
Dégueulasse.
No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Ah. J'ai pas eu le temps. Ok.
All of his
Ah, mais c'est pas le
co-workers
même.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the
Le
meeting
bureau, il a
room.
changé.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
non.
he entered the door on his left.
Si.
Mais non.
Si.
J'ai passé plein de fois, je reconnais tout à fait.
Yet there was not a single person here
Regarde,
either.
là, c'est plus droit.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
Attends, je vais vérifier un truc. C'est bon.
Allez, je reviens. La connexion internet n'arrête pas de sauter, c'est super chiant.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ah, t'es revenu jusqu'ici?
Ouais. Que ça a explosé.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the
Laisse-moi
strength
avancer.
to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Après, il y a quand même des
On
trucs
this
qui donnent
mind
sur...
control facility, it was too
sur,
horrible
pas des
to
bureaux,
believe
des
it
bureaux.
couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
J'ai cette envie d'en parler, Sylvain.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control.
Attends,
Je comprends mieux.
je baisse un peu le son du jeu parce que je vous entends pas super bien.
Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machine...
Autant.
Ah, bravo, éponge. Bravo, t'as cassé le jeu.
Non, j'ai pas caché le jeu.
Si tu l'as cassé plusieurs fois, on est tous témoins.
C'est pas vrai.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go,
Ah, la fin de Portal 2.
or how to feel. Whatever life
C'est
he
pas le même
lives,
endroit, si.
it will be his.
Non, c'était un choc.
And that was
Pas.
all
Et il n'y a
he
pas le,
needed to know.
la fin de la
It was
de
perhaps
Half-Life 2 de
the
Portal
only
2.
thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new
Trouve le
path
Fritzy.
before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
J'ai fini le jeu. D'après le succès.
T'as eu une
Bravo.
des fins.
Ah.
Je viens de découvrir un truc drôle dans le jeu, si tu veux.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a?
Il y a un truc très drôle que tu peux faire dès le début.
Dis-moi.
2 choses drôles que tu peux faire.
Oui, toujours
Ça,
écho,
d'accord.
hein, ça change pas.
Il y a l'écho?
But Stanley simply couldn't
C'est revenu
handle
ou
the
c'est
pressure. What if he
Ah
had to
bah
make
ça
a
a toujours été
decision?
là, hein.
What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility?
Bah on te l'a
He'd
déjà
never
dit,
been
moi je
trained
pensais que
for
c'était
that.
acquis maintenant.
No.
Mais je lui ai redit,
couldn't go
si
anywhere
t'entendais
except
pas l'écho,
badly.
dis-le.
The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to
On
wait.
t'écoute si on est
Nothing
là.
will hurt me.
C'est une métaphore
Nothing
du
will
suicide,
break
mais
me.
quoi?
In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive.
Oui, oui, moi en écho chez
Soon,
Griffin, oui.
very soon now,
Ah, d'accord.
this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Ah,
Voilà,
grosse fin
une
du
des
jeu.
fins. Alors l'autre, c'est faut sortir. Vas-y. Encore un peu, encore un
How
peu. Là tu vas
wonderful.
sur le bureau,
Stanley
dans le
was
coin, à
alone.
droite, à gauche.
Finally.
Non, non,
Lequel?
reviens,
This is
là, ouais.
great,
Le
he thought to
434.
himself. This is what I've wanted all
Ouais, monte
along.
dessus.
I got what I wanted.
Accroupis-toi.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a
Là, regarde la
trace of his
fenêtre.
co-workers.
Et passe par la fenêtre.
Ah oui, d'accord. Ok.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map
D'accord.
until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
Mais j'ai vraiment
Là,
trouvé un
je l'avais
bug.
Praised the
hein.
game for its insightful and witty commentary into the
Celui-là,
nature of video
je
game
viens de le
structure
découvrir.
and
Je
its
l'ai pas fait.
examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Nah.
Ah, then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How
Merci,
long will you
Lulu.
spend in total just to have heard all the narration?
Rien.
Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Et c'est tout? Ah, il y a toujours la fenêtre.
Oui.
Oui.
C'est tout.
Waouh, je peux relancer. Ah, il y a du papier partout!
Ah oui, c'est vrai. Oh putain, j'avais oublié qu'il y avait ça qui...
Oh. Et maintenant?
Oui, non, mais...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
On va pas
missed
faire
a
l'autre
memo.
option, hein. Ça va être putain de
Pour
long.
voir si on rapproche, il y a toujours l'écho ici.
Non. Là, j'ai plus d'écho, moi. Mais il y a un truc ouvert, là. Ah. Attends. Qu'est-ce que j'ai fait?
Je crois que t'as appuyé sur le clavier, mais je suis pas sûr.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Putain, il a reçu une input. Comment je fais les autres?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ah, attends, 2 secondes. J'ai la solution. Je l'ai fait par hasard.
Ah.
Fonctionnalité bureau, vous aurez peut-être remarqué, les ordinateurs inscrits, input required. Interagissez avec eux dans cet ordre en redémarrant après.
Ah, il faut interagir avec les PC dans un certain ordre?
Ah, mais pour commencer, en fait, faut que tu recommences le jeu à chaque fois.
Ah.
419, 423, 434.
All of his
419.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bah, je peux pas.
Ah, tu l'as pas fait techniquement?
Non, parce qu'en fait, il l'a. Oui, tu l'as déjà fait, donc 419, donc maintenant c'est le 423.
423?
Ouais.
Ah oui.
Voilà. La faut que tu redémarres.
434, tu m'as dit.
Ouais,
All of his
434.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Non.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't
Celui
find
devant.
a trace
Ah
of
non,
his
celui devant le
co-workers.
bureau du patron.
Ah. I hate Monday.
Faut que tu ailles voir le boss.
Mais ça y était pas, ça.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Donc ça doit être celui-là.
Dessus,
Ouais.
ouais. Celui-là, ouais.
Là, 434 du coup.
Ouais, le 434.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Et le dernier.
T'as appuyé dessus?
Oui,
Celui
oui.
Stanley.
Oui.
Oh, t'as cassé le jeu.
Ah. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça?
Alors, t'as mis
Ça,
appui
c'est
sur
pareil.
le bouton. Vas-y, appuie.
Voilà.
Oui.
Bravo, t'appuies sur des boutons.
Voilà, dans ton paradis.
Il se passe quelque chose si j'appuie sur tous les boutons.
Alors, appuie sur tous les boutons.
Ça va prendre du temps, hein. Ah, non, c'est pas possible, d'accord. Bon, bah, voilà.
Demandez quand est-ce que ça allait, combien de temps ça pourrait durer.
Bon, fais-les tous. Allez, allons-y. Oh, je peux y retourner quand je veux, d'accord.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oui, oui.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Oh no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Je tiens à dire qu'il se passe quelque chose si tu y retournes encore une fois.
Que j'y sors et que j'y retourne?
Non, dans une run où tu y retournes encore une fois, il se passera quelque chose.
Mais c'est encore changé!
All of his co-workers were gone.
Ah oui, regarde!
What could it mean?
Non.
Stanley
Mais si,
decided
le
to
bureau
go
il a
to the
changé!
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open
Oh, le même
doors,
bureau, je
he
comprends
entered
pas.
the door on his left.
C'est plusieurs fois ce que tu dis ça étrange, à chaque fois c'est le même
Yet
bureau.
there was
Hein.
not
Non,
a
non.
single person here either.
Regarde, on est dans le bureau, c'est
Feeling
qu'elle
a
se reconnaît
wave
quand
of
même.
disbelief, Stanley decided to go
Voilà.
up to his boss's office, hoping he might
Il a
find
dit
an
ah
answer
non non
there.
non 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 non, tu vas pas recommencer. Voilà, si t'essaies d'y retourner, il met des planches devant.
Mais
Et
putain,
tombe
attends.
déçu.
Je suis très très désappointé. Apparemment, il existe une édition ultra deluxe.
De quoi, de Stanley Parable?
Oui,
Sans doute.
mais c'est ce que j'ai vu.
Est-ce que dans l'Ultra de luxe on peut appuyer sur tous les boutons?
Je sais pas. Hmm. Attends, je vérifie des trucs. Ok. Il y a peut-être moyen de faire un
Coming to a
truc.
staircase, Stanley walked
Sylvain est
upstairs
devenu
to
le
his
narrateur
boss's
étrange, j'ai pas
office.
encore compris.
C'est tout à fait ça. Exil, lui, dit pas tout.
Here's the door,
Oh non.
just go.
J'ai pas eu le temps. Pas grave. Oui, je
Vous voulez
triche pour
sortir?
avoir d'autres fins, oui. Coucou.
Je reviens.
Oui.
Et comment ça, il ose revenir? Non, moi je trouve ça scandaleux, c'est les gens qui s'absentent. Ils devraient finir au goulag. Bon, bah je m'absente.
Je triche, hein.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
On essaie de
When
tricher.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the
Qu'est-ce
door.
qu'il va nous faire?
Ah bah t'es revenu finalement.
Ouais, je me suis absenté, je suis revenu.
Tu t'es pas absenté très longtemps. J'essaye de trouver des fins, ok?
Le mec a déjà fini le jeu, mais il peut pas se contenter.
Mais non. Ah. Vous partez.
Au revoir, président.
Ah, c'est dommage, je suis pas président. Mais c'est gentil de l'attention.
Mais c'est mal, t'es belge, vous n'avez pas de président, vous.
Non, effectivement.
Ni de gouvernement.
Effectivement.
5 gouvernements n'ont pas de gouvernement.
Je ne vais pas répondre, Frixie.
Qu'est-ce qu'il a encore dit?
Je ne vais pas répondre.
Je ne peux pas répondre, je m'en demande
Il y a
quelle
5
question.
Belgique. Et ouais. Attends. Est-ce qu'il se passe ce que je pense qu'il se passe? Oui. Très bien. Tout le monde a Sylvain de lire.
Pourquoi il devrait me lire?
Ah, enfin.
J'ai rien écrit.
Je vois rien. Ah si.
T'as encore
Ok.
cassé le jeu.
Apparemment.
Faut que t'arrêtes, hein.
Mais le jeu il s'est cassé tout seul. Oh voilà. C'était une des fins.
J'ai même pas eu le temps de voir ce que c'était.
Bah apparemment on est allé vers un pote pour s'échapper.
Parce que moi j'ai cru voir un pilier rouge avec des chaînes. Donc,
Ouais bah c'est ça.
All of his
Alors.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow.
alors, si je comprends bien, t'as eu la trou
This
lacéline du premier coup.
room. What a beautiful room.
Bah apparemment.
What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank
Donc, t'es
goodness
vraiment
Stanley
chiant,
had
quoi.
taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider. Yes.
Il est bien,
really,
l'employé room.
really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously
Salut
vanished,
Ragou. Ragou
here
dit
you
bonsoir au
sit looking at
PNJ, je sais
these
pas de qui il
chairs
parle.
and some paintings. Really worth it. At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Je suis pas un PNJ, j'admire la salle de repos des employés.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Il a d'autres choses à me dire. Non. Je préfère PNJ ou la
But
pile
at
du
last,
narrateur.
he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Ah,
And
j'étais
so
pas
he
allé par là.
detoured
tiens.
through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to
Delphine,
the
tu
right?
respires très fort dans ton
What
micro.
was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
À moins que ce soit Sylvain, mais je pense pas.
See, we went down, right, left, down,
Ou alors c'est la
left,
voix qui est derrière toi.
right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Ok, mieux. Ah bah oui, effectivement.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay.
Ah bah bravo,
okay.
Monsieur Spoil.
Get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about rather
Pourquoi il y a
than
des
waste my
fausses
time
viewers?
trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Ok.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ah.
And Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Or did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Non, je peux pas aller par là. Non, par là. Oui. On vit une aventure, comme dans le Hobbit.
J'espère que c'est une meilleure aventure que le Hobbit.
Bon, ça va, c'était pas si mauvais que ça. Est-ce que c'est une aventure palpitante pour toi, Griffin, ce qu'on vit?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can
Alors,
promise you
Philippe
there definitely was a story here
Ah, mais je suis...
before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Ah, d'accord. Le roi gobelin était dégueulasse. Oh, ça va, un gobelin c'est dégueulasse, donc un roi
All of his
gobelin.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
On pourrait passer par les faux plafonds, c'est vrai ça?
Aha! I
Bien
knew
sûr que
we
Griffin est
missed
sur
something.
Spelunky,
The
évidemment.
story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not
Oh.
the story.
Re.
Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
As-tu vécu une aventure palpitante, Sylvain?
Tout à fait.
Regarde, le jeu il a changé, je suis passé dans Phasmophobia.
Quoi?
Regarde.
Ça
Phasmophobia
n'a pas
ça.
changé.
Et c'est Phasmophobia ça.
Now this...
Oui, c'est ça. On va
Well, I'll
chasser
be
les
honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story?
Oui, on t'a
I
pas
don't
dit pendant
think
que t'es
so.
parti, on a
I
changé.
can't quite recall, but I
Ah,
believe
tout
my
de suite.
story took place in an office
Et le
building.
narrateur nous a suivis.
Is that
Ouais.
correct?
C'est lui le fantôme maintenant.
Do you remember,
Il est
Stanley?
gentil le. Ah bah il y a plus
Well,
de
do you know
porte.
what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Ouais, j'ai gagné.
Congratulations! I know you put in
Bravo.
a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job. Oh no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual
Oui, je suis trop
work for that
fort.
win. Some people
J'ai
win
gagné.
fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time, I have to restart.
Quel jeu qui redémarre lui.
Ah,
All
The
right,
Stanley
I've got a solution. This
Voilà,
time, to make
t'es
sure we
tellement
don't get
con,
lost,
dans
I've
le
employed
doute.
the help of the Stanley Parable
alors,
Adventure Line.
il y a un truc très
Just
drôle avec
follow the
cette
line.
ligne,
How
c'est de ne
beaucoup
pas
de
la
ligne.
suivre.
Mais
J'aime bien.
je suis obligé de la suivre là.
Là, oui, mais au bout d'un moment, tu pourras ne pas la suivre.
Oui.
Oui, bah avance.
Oui, mais ça va, j'avance.
No, no, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Ah bah j'ai rien d'autre à faire en fait.
Attends, bon, c'est pas tout de suite. Oui, non, parce que là, tu peux rien faire.
On va suivre la ligne. Ah non.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward,
Ah, putain,
Stanley,
oui, je sais
to
c'est quelle heure.
destiny. Though,
D'accord.
here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story
Non, tu
there?
pourras rien faire. ouais,
Or
je
to put it another way,
crois. C'est
is the
pas
story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation
Oui,
of the
bah.
nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct
Mais
of one's
j'ai juste tourné
subjective
en rond, là.
experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective
Mais qu'est-ce qu'elle
construct?
fait?
Whoa. Hang on.
Eh, tu dois marcher
Got a
sur les
bit
murs.
weird back there? Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
Qu'est-ce qu'elle fait la
You know
ligne?
what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
D'accord. Hein.
Il a mis un peu de musique.
C'est trop bien.
Dès que c'est cette musique.
C'est tellement bien.
Il y a
Et
des
donc-
bouts d'un-
Je n'ai qu'une chose à dire. C'est donc ça le monde de Pipsy.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
Quelle plante?
Stanley, This fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Ah, est-ce que c'est sérieux ou est-ce que c'est du n'importe quoi? Prends-la en photo, on sait jamais. Demande-lui son 06.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Moi je suis. Ah.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Restart.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Là.
Now, yes, this
Pourquoi tu
is
dis ça,
exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be?
On tourne
Go
en rond.
wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Ah, c'est bon.
Ah, que Friggy, il faut que je te dise bonsoir.
Ah.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it.
Bonsoir,
Should be fine.
Pixie.
Bonsoir. Il souhaite demander le 06 d'une plante. Ah. Ça dépend, est-ce que cette plante est masculine?
Est-ce que cette plante est concentrante?
Est-ce que cette plante est
a
concentrante?
choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander
Alors ça
the
dépend,
opportunity.
est-ce qu'on est aux
In
manettes
fact,
ou au
I
clavier?
believe I need a minute to think here.
Bah au
Just
clavier.
walk in circles
Putain,
for a
oui, c'est
minute.
ça. Ah putain, oui.
Okay. So I
C'est ce
know
que je
that
pensais,
each
voilà.
door
Oui, oui,
has to
vas-y. Allez,
lead
une minute, tu dois
somewhere.
marcher en rond.
Which means
Non,
that
t'es sérieux.
somewhere,
Ah, si,
the
si,
place
ouais.
where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn
Quelle
means that
horreur.
our
Pendant ce temps-là,
destination
étrange, raconte-nous une anecdote
corresponds
de
with
ton
the
enfance.
counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us
Mais
ask,
je sais
will
pas
Tu vois,
qu'est-ce
quand
que
c'est pas
the
qu'on demande, c'est moins facile, hein.
lead us to
quel
where
genre
we're
d'anecdote
going?
tu veux entendre?
And
Parce
since
que j'en ai
the
pas beaucoup
answer
en
J'en sais
fait.
rien.
is yes, then by all accounts, the
Anecdote.
door on the right is the correct one.
Parce que moi j'ai pas
Another
beaucoup
victory from
d'anecdotes en
logic.
fait.
Come,
Moi,
Stanley,
j'en avais pas et t'as
our
obligé de m'en dire.
destiny
Ouais.
awaits.
Donc voilà, tu m'as fait chier, donc c'est à ton tour.
C'est étrange. On attend.
Oh, hold up, what's
Ah
this?
oui.
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
D'accord. Le consentement, c'est une légende avec ton sens.
Ok, j'admets, le jumpscare
All of
me
his
fait peur.
co-workers were gone.
T'as eu
What
peur?
could it mean?
Oui,
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
peur dans le sens, ça m'a surpris, je vais sursauter, mais...
Oui.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and
Il faut que
Stanley
c'est moi
knew
qui vais casser un
perfectly
truc.
well.
Mais la peur est
Perhaps he
un
wanted to
sentiment
stop by the
très
employee lounge first, just to
Ouais,
admire
ouais.
it.
Montrer.
rationnel et en même temps
The
tout à fait
lounge was
irrationnel.
sublime, a work of art. But
Alors là,
eager
c'est
to
normal
get
d'avoir
back to
peur.
business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ah, il hésite même pas. Hein.
Stanley was so
Rien à
bad at
foutre.
following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Bien, et
There's
donc,
someone
je
you've
crois que
been
tu as une
neglecting,
petite idée.
Stanley.
Oui.
Someone you've forgotten about. Please. What? Really? I was in the middle of something.
Bravo. La première fois, j'ai rien dit, hein. J'ai rien dit, je me suis dit non, je vais lui laisser découvrir tout seul.
Why? I don't know how
Don't
to
Jeremy
convince you
Way.
of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
Non.
Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
I
Now
don't
listen
want to believe.
carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Bah alors rouge ou bleu?
Are you a boy or a girl?
Mais pas... Je lui laisse une dernière chance.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all
C'est
this
donc-
time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy.
C'est
I
bien.
actually feel happy.
Ça pique les yeux.
Et donc le bonheur c'est le futuroscope.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Ah, c'est chelou.
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Ah.
No!
Non.
Oh, no.
De quoi?
No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a, Sylvain? Tu veux pas que je
Vérité.
saute?
Do it. Do it.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? But you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation
N'écoute
correctly?
pas Sylvain.
Ah, ça y est, je suis revenu.
Oui.
Oui.
Sylvain,
Oui.
t'es revenu.
Action, c'est...
Et donc pourquoi t'as dit non, fais pas ça?
Non, comme ça, parce que c'était dans le jeu. Hein.
D'accord.
Or maybe you're just getting
Ça
a
va, tu te
kick
fais
out
plaisir
of it.
sinon
Ouh.
I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is it over?
Tellement
It's going to
monstrueux.
restart, isn't it?
Oui.
I'm going back.
Et voilà. Et c'est reparti.
All of his co-workers were gone. What
Qu'est-ce qu'il y
could
a?
it mean?
Tu devrais
Stanley
avoir honte.
decided to go to the meeting
No.
room. Perhaps he had
Oui.
simply missed a memo.
J'ai pas honte.
Ah mais je dis pas que tu as honte, je dis que ça devrait être le cas.
Bah,
When
pourquoi?
Stanley came to a set of
C'est
two
quand t'as
open, this was
pixel.
not the correct
Parce
way
que
to
tu es
do it.
méchant.
And
Bah, je ne suis
Stanley
pas
knew it
méchant, c'est ma
perfectly
propre vie,
well.
je fais ce que je veux avec ma
Perhaps he
vie.
wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
Complètement
just to
petit.
admire it.
Écoute.
Alors
euh,
après je ne connais
Annie,
pas la loi belge, mais techniquement,
Stanley, for the first
j'ai-
time
en
he
tout
had
cas
to
en
get
France,
back to
non.
business. Stanley took the
J'allais dire un
first
truc,
open door on
mais
his
ça
left.
spoilerait Cyberpunk.
Stanley was so bad at following
je vais
directions,
me
it's
taire.
incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Ah, mais il y a un truc
I
ouvert là-bas en
realize that
dessous.
investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all
Il est
this
très bien
time.
Cyberpunk, Trixie.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Bon.
What?
Moi j'aime bien.
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
Nya.
Let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Mhm.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Réfléchis. Si tu peux passer par la porte rouge.
All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see?
Oh.
There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the
Des bouts de
dark at a new
texture.
design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
C'est bugué?
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the
disons
game
que-
benefited from
du jeu,
allowing you more
de 1 à
choices?
5.
Feel free to
disons
be
que c'est pas
honest.
fini.
I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
C'est pas fini, et c'était juste une porte en plus.
A
L'année.
one? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a one? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess
Deux.
it isn't my place to judge.
Non, il a pas droit à un 2, il a joué avec
Here,
la tout à l'heure.
based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And
Moi, je
Ouais,
lui ai mis un
faut
4.
tuer.
I
Un
think I've
4?
knocked it out of the park with this one.
Il le
Let's
mérite.
take a look.
Pour avoir mis une porte?
Ah oui.
Oh,
Worldwide
nouvelle
Leaderboard.
technologie.
C'est des vrais gens.
Nul.
Oh, c'est de la merde. C'est tellement de la merde.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to
Mais
keep
non,
walking
c'est
through
de la
doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Allez, t'as ça
Net, c'est quand même étrange.
2, allez.
Hey,
T'as fait
I nearly
l'effort.
forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely
Ah, il est
opportunity
génial.
to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't
Okay.
mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game,
Voilà.
the baby crawls left towards danger.
T'as dit qu'il y avait un jeu
You
avec un
click the
bébé.
button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly
bébé
confronting the
JPEG.
demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours.
What?
So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be
Spoiler,
sure to
il y
keep
a
notes on your
un achievement
experience.
si t'arrives à le faire, à jouer 4 heures à ce jeu-là.
Attends, quoi? Il y a un achievement si j'arrive à faire quoi? Parce que là, j'entends rien.
À jouer 4 heures à ce jeu.
Mais personne ne joue 4.
Si.
Qui jouerait 4 heures à ça?
Mais quoi, ça peut être agréable.
À ça?
Bah, c'est pour empêcher un bébé de mourir dans les flammes. T'es un monstre.
T'as
si
vraiment
tu
pas
le
de
fais
cœur, hein.
Voilà, Frixie. Je savais que t'étais un gars comme ça, toi.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a encore?
Voilà. Bon, bébé. Oh là là, je suis mauvais. Je suis... qu'est-ce que je dois faire dans ce jeu? Ah.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's
Devine.
the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's Objection! Thank you for playing. Your input was
Salut,
voilà.
invaluable.
0x81
since my
underscore
game was so
XML.
awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Je crois me souvenir.
Mais-
Ouais, ouais.
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always
un
desired.
jeu
A
original
game
que
I
j'avais
had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
Où ça? Où ça?
This will go here. No, here.
Ah.
And then...
C'est de la...
Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
Mais je joue pas à Minecraft.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
C'est pas Minecraft.
Allez, il y a un texte en plus.
C'est pas Minecraft. Ah, mais c'est ouvert. Oh mais il a vraiment mis la musique en plus, ce con.
Pas que tu joues pas à Minecraft, comment tu peux savoir que c'est la musique de
Ça,
Minecraft?
c'est pas Minecraft,
Bah alors?
c'est Lego.
Non, j'ai pas dit que je jouais pas à Minecraft, j'ai dit que
Oh
c'était pas
my,
Minecraft.
it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
Oh, il y a des champignons.
Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Et là, c'est Doom. Ah, Portal. Voilà.
Ah oui.
Yes! I don't even know what this game is,
En même
but
temps,
I
c'est le même,
love it. You, trapped in a glass box.
Oui,
with
c'est le
no
même type
way
de
out,
jeu,
listening
Oui,
to
et ben c'est les mêmes
Oh,
textures,
it's
c'est les mêmes développeurs.
inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
J'aime bien la musique.
Sans Portal Gun, ça va être compliqué.
Oui.
Bah normalement, cette étape-là, tu l'as pas encore.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
Ah,
Genius.
vous
No,
êtes ces
actually,
trois
you know
d'esprit,
what?
ben
I think
non.
that's
D'ailleurs,
plenty.
c'est facile.
I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt.
Qu'est-ce que j'ai fait?
Et voilà, terre du jeu.
Ok.
J'avoue, moi à ce moment-là, j'ai galéré un peu.
Filling cabinet. Ok. C'est super sombre en plus.
Oui.
Je suis tombé.
T'es sûr que t'es vraiment tombé?
Ben je crois.
Il manque plus que 2 jumelles qui disent viens jouer avec nous.
Come play with me.
D'ailleurs, je me suis enfin vu Ready Player One
Ah.
avec la fameuse scène de Shining qui était à mourir de rire.
Ah oui, oui, elle est bien. Hein. Qu'est-ce que t'en as pensé de Ready Player One?
Très sympa.
Moi, ça fait longtemps. Hein.
Il y a des trucs très très nuls.
Oui, c'est vrai.
La romance n'a rien à faire là. La fin
Oui.
est pas trop mal. Le message du développeur est très bien, mais pas assez développé, malheureusement.
Le développeur n'a pas assez développé son message.
Oui, en fait, le coup faut pas passer à côté de sa vie et tout
I
ça.
wonder
En
what he
fait,
found.
c'est
If what
pas,
he
je trouve que c'est pas
wanted
assez
was to be
développé.
the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I
D'accord.
mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
C'est tout? Ok.
Donc, ensuite, j'attendais juste que tu finisses.
Donc,
Je sais pas si tu connais Hardcore Leveling Warriors.
de nom, mais j'ai jamais...
Bah, Ready Player One, c'est plus du pompage là à ce niveau-là.
Ah.
Voilà. Ils ont fait plein de références dedans, mais en vrai, tout ce qui est dans Ready Player One,
Le téléphone
tout le
cassé.
système de Ready Player One.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We
Mais-
are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Ok. D'accord.
On est au paradis.
Non. Je sais pas ce qu'il faut que je fasse après ça. Du coup, ils ont fait plein de références, mais...
Ah, ça sent le pompage en fait.
Ah.
Ça sent le pompage.
When Stanley came to a set
Et
of
si
two
jamais
open
vous avez pas
doors,
lu
this was not the correct way to the
Hardcore
meeting
Leveling
room,
Warriors,
and Stanley
je
knew it perfectly
conseille
well.
Ah, c'est un truc,
Perhaps he
c'est un
wanted to
livre.
stop by the
Ok.
employee lounge first,
Ah ouais, tout.
just to admire it.
Ah.
Stanley
C'est un
felt
webtoon.
lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach,
Et
but
c'est comme Solo
eager to get
Leveling,
back to
je
business,
kifferais bien que ce soit
Stanley
adapté.
took the first open door on his left.
Mais Solo Leveling, en fait, le truc...
Stanley
C'est
was so
que-
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ah, bah.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story
Solo
and no
Leveling,
one
en
gets to
fait,
tell him what
j'ai
to
acheté les
do,
2 premiers
Stanley
tomes.
leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Et...
Good job, Stanley.
Ben...
Everyone thinks you are
On est
very
déjà à un point
powerful.
où l'histoire, en soi, elle peut être techniquement bâclée, parce que le gars, il est déjà beaucoup trop fort. Et c'est doux.
Ah, tu trouves?
Ouais, je trouve que au bout du 2e tome, il est déjà beaucoup trop fort.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Non, je
What
trouve
could
pas.
it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Parce que tu connais pas encore le niveau général.
Ouais, c'est possible, mais là, de ce que je vois, il se
Stanley came to a set
détruit
of two
beaucoup
open
trop
doors. This was
facilement.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
Oui,
well.
effectivement.
Perhaps he wanted to
Mais
stop by the
tu vas
employee
voir, il y a
lounge
des...
first, just to admire it.
En fait, quand tu connais vraiment le niveau
The
général,
lounge was grand,
rien que quand tu
majestic.
sais le niveau
Perhaps
de...
but eager to get back to
des
business,
guerriers de level
Stanley took the
C.
first open door on his left.
C'est pas facile, hein. Déjà c'est pas facile.
Stanley was so bad at following directions.
C'est
it's
juste que
incredible
les
he
guerriers de
wasn't
level
fired
C déjà
years ago.
sont assez puissants. Hein.
Ok.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your
comme tu te
agent, you
doutes,
really are
c'est,
not. I
ça n'a rien
realize
à
that
voir à
investing in
partir
your
de ce
trust
level-là.
in someone else can be difficult,
C'est
but
pas-
the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've
La
been
progression n'est plus
neglecting,
régulière.
Stanley.
C'est
Someone
entre le
you've
niveau C,
forgotten
C et B et pareil entre B
Please,
et A.
stop trying to make every
Eh
decision
ben, hâte
by
de voir ça,
yourself.
du coup.
I'm not asking for me.
C'est très très intéressant au niveau du lore.
Mais
This is it, Stanley.
pour le moment, je
Your
trouve qu'il a eu
chance to
une
redeem
évolution beaucoup
yourself.
trop rapide.
To put your work aside,
C'est normal.
to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you
réfléchi
do
pour connaître
that?
cette fin-là?
You actually
Non.
chose incorrectly? I
Non.
didn't even know that was
J'avoue que non.
possible.
T'as foncé,
Let me
c'était
double
incroyable.
check.
Oui, Griffin a 1462
Definitely
heures sur
clear as
Spelunky,
day.
il est
Stanley
tombé.
picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music
C'est
comes
faux.
in, fade to
Tu me
white,
mens, tu me
roll
mens.
credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Ok.
Choice.
Non mais ça...
It's the best part of being a real person.
Non,
But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For
C'est
example,
trop bien.
in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack and crack."
C'est aussi lui qui joue, qui double le père dans Invincible.
Ah bon?
Excellent.
Oui.
Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process.
C'est trop bien.
Most
Oh, mais
medical
c'est un
professionals recommend
crocodile.
making at least 8 choices
Quoi?
per
Mais qu'est-ce qu'il
day.
fait?
Do you make more than 8?
Mais je sais pas.
Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ok.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Alors, juste, c'est lui. Oui, c'est ça, c'est lui, c'est Jonathan Johnson. Il est méconnaissable, le type.
Le gars, quoi.
C'est J.K. Simmons. Mais...
Oh, il a mis des sécurités.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine
Il a mis des
character
petites
dying
roues.
senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Si, je l'ai sauté dans le vide, Frixie. Je l'ai fait juste avant.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left. Back to the correct ending. The story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oui.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Qu'est-ce que tu espères?
Oh, il a changé.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Oui.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Oui.
I'm sorry,
Vas-y,
is there a
parle dans ton
problem?
micro.
You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This
Non, mais ça
is a
fonctionne vraiment
crucial
comme ça?
step. Okay, fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. Is behaving exactly as
Arrête de casser
Stanley
le jeu.
would.
D'accord.
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine.
Mais-
All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. C'est bugué.
Ah bah arrête de casser le jeu.
Je fais pas exprès.
Si, tu le fais exprès.
Non.
En attendant, tu continues à casser le jeu. Hein.
Oh, it's ruined.
Tu fais pas exprès, tu fais pas exprès.
After everything we talked about, that you, my
Ouais, d'écouter la
story,
femme.
you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story
T'as
is
bien
now
lu?
incorrect?
Everything
How do I go back to
is
that?
okay.
I can't erase
Oui,
that
everything is
knowledge.
okay.
I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely?
Productive
To
work
willingly
environment,
destroy all of
celui
my
aussi.
work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do?
Guerre everywhere.
No, I have to. I have to
Ça
shut
doit
the game down.
sûrement être de
I
l'allemand.
have to. I have
Sûrement un patois local.
Flamand.
D'accord. Ok.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground.
Mais
What,
c'est pas
did
ma
you
faute,
think
c'est
that would
qu'une
be
voix.
funny? You just had to see. Didn't I
Little Miss
impress upon you how
Fortune, elle m'a
important
appris
it
qu'il fallait
was to
pas
be like Stanley?
croire les
He
voix.
actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh,
Griffin, tu
my
n'es qu'un enfant.
story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oui.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay?
Du coup, il peut pas bouger.
Please. I need you to make a choice.
The end.
I need you to walk through the door.
Ouais.
Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right?
C'est à droite.
This is important.
Il y a vraiment les
The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together.
On peut voir à quoi ressemble Stanley. Il ne ressemble à rien.
Comme le héros de R8.
Do something.
Oui.
Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Mais en vrai, je pense qu'on a fait toutes les fins. Hein.
T'as fait les 19 fins?
Il y a 19 fins?
Oui.
Oui, alors dans ces fins, tu comptes des fins qui ne sont pas vraiment des fins, mais bon. Genre, par exemple, le placard n'est pas vraiment une fin.
Non. Ben, en fait... Ouais, je crois, parce que quand je regarde la entre guillemets solus.
Oui, oui, au niveau du nombre de fins et des trucs que t'as fait, t'es pas loin.
Ouais, c'est ça. Je pense qu'il me reste plus que, voilà, ici.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Voilà.
Voilà, c'est fini.
Bravo.
Bravo. Mais ouais, je pense que j'ai vraiment fini.
Ah.
Je crois qu'on a tout, hein. Bon bah voilà.
C'était Stanley Parable.
C'était The Stanley Parable. C'était rigolo. C'était j'ai fini le jeu. Mais j'ai pas tous les succès. Mais bon. C'est impossible d'avoir tous les succès d'un coup.
Je crois que c'est même pas possible d'avoir tous les succès.
Non. Parce qu'il y a un qui s'appelle It's impossible to get this achievement.
C'est ça.
S'il met pas du tien.
Je dois avoir joué à Stanley Parable pendant la durée entière d'un mardi.
Oui.
C'est-à-dire 24 heures.
Stanley Parable tout un mardi. Non, non, tout un mardi.
Comment ça, tout un mardi?
De minuit à minuit, un mardi.
Mais... Quel est l'intérêt?
Avoir un succès.
Mais quel est l'intérêt de ce jeu?
Qui ferait ça?
À te prendre anarchiste.
Arrête avec l'anarchisme.
Bref, ce stream en tout cas s'arrête là. Merci Fritzy. C'était rigolo. Je peux l'ajouter à jeu fini, Stanley Parable. Et au revoir.